very smart. If you're like me, got x-rays and my heel sits back just a little bit, it's just gonna hit that Achilles tendon and it's gonna... All right guys, I'm really excited about this video. I'm gonna be talking about the Trapper Top from Hanwag. I have 2 pairs of these boots and I'm gonna tell you why I think it's one of the best late season boots. The Hanwag Trapper Top is a late season boot. It's leather, it's Gore-Tex, waterproof, Vibram sole. I've had this pair for 5 years, got them in 2018 and have used them in a lot of cold temperatures. I got these in 2023. I don't know if you can tell, but the wear on this pair is not much. There's not a huge difference between this and this. I mean, this is you kind of see it a little better because I just took these to Arizona last weekend for shed hunting, but the sole is pretty dang tough and I've put a ton of miles on this and it's still going strong. The reason why I have 2 pairs is after 5 years, this one started to leak in 2023. It was a really wet year in Nevada and had a lot of wet hunts, and eventually I got some water to go through and I had to upgrade for my Colorado hunt in the late season. The insulation is I think equivalent to about 200 grams of insulation. I think it's the Primaloft insulation that's in there. They are 4 pounds 10 ounces, so a little bit more stout of a boot, a little heavy, but it is a leather boot and it's taller. There's a lot of material there. They are comfortable. They have enough room for like a normal foot. I don't have a wide or narrow foot. It's kind of normal. They work well for me. There's a little bit of break-in time, but not a ton, I would say. The way I would use these is I never lace the top. I only lace to right here, second down, so I have room for my shin and my leg to move forward. If it is just tight, I can't move forward. I'm going to be very restricted. It's going to put a lot of pressure on the shin. I don't like it. I did try when I very first got these 5 years ago doing that, and I was like, man, I can't do this. So I just went to the second level down below, and it's worked out really well. The laces, you got ball bearings in there on the bottom, makes it nice and easy to pull up. Very minimal issues other than just a little bit of water starting to come in on this, just at this top point over time. That was 5 years of heavy use. Also had the, I'm not even sure what you call it, the lace hook is kind of bent up. I'm sure I can bend that back down. The other one's just fine, but I think I might have pulled it up too hard or hit it on a rock or something. As far as temperatures go and that 200 gram insulation equivalent, I've used these in Wyoming. We hit about 21 degrees for the low. Colorado last year was 9 degrees on the mountain low, very cold. Another thing that I really think is key to call out is right here in the back. It's just not straight leather all the way up to the top. You have this area that gives you some give. It's very smart because your Achilles tendon is sensitive, and if you're like me, I got x-rays and my heel sits back just a little bit. So if this thing's not flexible, it's just going to hit that Achilles tendon and it's going to hurt. On our mountain goat hunt in 2015, I was testing out some boots for Cabela's where I used to work. They were a prototype, and the back was just like a piece of plastic, like hard plastic, no move at all. And mountain goats live in very high and steep places, and we were miles in, a lot of steep hiking, and it just hit on my Achilles constantly until it bumped out on both sides. And when my brother and my dad went to go after the mountain goats up high, I stayed put because I was in so much pain. I was basically injured, and if I have a chance to find the footage, I'll put some in there when we're getting back to camp. But you can see me, I'm just like limping. And we got the goat out of there. It was a great hunt. Check it out. But the next day I came back in my Nikes because my Achilles were toast, and it took, I feel like it's 9 to 12 months before I fully recovered from that. I had to get different shoes that weren't touching my Achilles. Like, I had to baby it. It's very sensitive. So I like that there is some give there. I haven't had any kind of issues with Achilles pain in the back there. The heel pocket is comfortable. I will say when it is super wet and frozen, a lot of times the dirt and the snow will just freeze into like a ball, and you're like walking on a ball until you hit it on a rock. That's just kind of the design of the tread. It kind of will ball up there. But they've been really good. I've covered a lot of miles in snow, deep snow, cold temperatures. In that 9 degrees, it was cold, not unbearable. As long as I kept moving around while we're processing the elk, like it was cold on my knees, cutting and everything. But I would go get warm by the fire, and then once we started hiking out, my toes were fine. So it's not on the high end of 1,000 grams. I do have a pair of 1,000 gram insulate boots, and then I have used to have a pair of 400, and they were both super warm. Your feet would get really warm when you start moving. So I think something like this is a good combination if you're going to be actively hunting but still in really cold temps. It's important to have a good sock, which is probably a good topic for another video. That's my take on the Trapper Top. This is one of my favorite late season boots. I hope you got some value out of that. Hopefully gives you some perspective on some other options for the late season. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for watching. Be prepared. Get the gear you need for the adventures you're going to go on. Later.
Oh my gosh. Look at that thing. Sorry. That thing is massive. Oh man.
Goat hunter.
Look how big it is. That body is gigantic. Jeez.